All right. Aloha, Love Tribe. Guess who I have with me? I have a beautiful, beautiful soul who has emerged from a place of being a yogi musician. And he's going to talk about how he came to this place to use music and the healing vibrations of sound to help the planet become more in tune with their heart, their love, how to heal, how to be more in touch with higher consciousness and higher vibrations. So I'm so excited to welcome my special guest, DTO, aka Dave Kemp. Aloha, my friend.
Aloha. How are you?
Super good. Okay, so tell us, you're in San Diego. You're in sunny San Diego. Is that true?
Yes,
My old
it's a
hometown. My
blessing.
old hometown.
Oh, that's cool. Well, come on down. The water's warm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So let's talk a little bit. We've got some fun stuff coming up. We're going to talk about how music is medicine again. I have this phrase, I say music is medicine and the DJ is the doctor. That's like a little song I have, and I work, and I think about, whether you're a producer, an artist, a DJ, a musician, whatever, it's like we're sharing the magic of the vibration of sound with, one person, masses of people, a yoga studio, a festival. Like why is music so universally accepted as a healing tool?
That's a great question. I feel that music bypasses the conscious mind and goes directly to the soul.
Yeah.
And it feels in your heart, your body. Doesn't matter whatever thoughts or chatter is happening up here. It's just, wow, just this emotional ability to evoke sensations and feelings and connection that I don't truly know anything else has that possibility to generate.
Yeah. I know. I think about sporting events versus like a musical event, right? And so when you're at a sporting event, it's kind of us versus them, and you're kind of in this like competitive, human form type thing. And when you're at a music event, whether it's like a rock concert or an ecstatic dance or a festival or whatever, like everybody is rhythmically in tune. There's this resonance with our beings, and so and everybody's trying to be together, so everybody wins versus like us versus them. And I feel like music has that magical quality to create this tapestry, this woven fabric that joins us all together, joins our hearts, joins our souls, through this vibration. How do you choose? So let's hear about your aha moment when you decided from, you're a teacher, you're into education, you're obviously into, raising awareness and consciousness on the planet. How did you all of a sudden go from point A to point B and become this, yogic music producer, strumming's minstrel? What is the guy who goes around and plays the music?
Yeah, the minstrel.
The minstrel.
There's actually a deity called Saraswati in India, where it's all about musical channeling and creativity and self-expression through that. Yeah, so for me, I'm from Iowa and born and raised in the cornfields. Used to tassel corn when I was a kid, worked the fields in the summer, and really had a very typical Midwestern upbringing, very straightforward. And I'm grateful to say that I chose a mom to, I was in the womb being able to listen. A lot of people don't know that when you're in the womb from like 12 to 16 weeks, you develop a sense of hearing. And so all the sound, all the music that was playing in my household, my mom had a piano and she's a vocal instructor teaching piano and a part of musical theater. So I had this like part of my ability to understand frequencies and sounds and rhythms. And so I started to play piano and drums at a very early age. And so fast forward to me moving to California, discovering yoga. I went to my first yoga festival called Bhakti Fest in 2013. And I had just come off my fourth experience at Burning Man. And so it was my decompression to go to Bhakti Fest and really recognize, before I'd been to a few yoga studios and I started to recognize like the basic asana practice. And then from there, I was at this experience at this large room where there's about 200 people.
and we did this collective Om. And for many people, especially my buddies back in the Midwest, they're like, what's a collective Om? What is that?
Right. What's up, hippie?
Yeah. What's going on with that? And so it's that, call it a prayer, call it meditation, call it, when you take a collective breath or when you hug someone, there's this energetic sensation and the synergy that takes place where you feel this oneness, or you feel like you got someone's back or they have your back in life, right? Mm-hmm. That kind of feeling when everyone in a large space or in a small space, wherever the space is, we're all in outer space and inner space. And so the experience is the following, that I was in this class and everyone was oming, Om. And I closed my eyes. I was just in this moment. And I really felt this out of body moment where I felt as though my consciousness or my awareness of where I was spatially just like went to like 7 galaxies that way. It was just like, where am I? And then what had taken place after that, it was a class with a master teacher, Dharma Mitra, who's originally from Brazil, and he has a phenomenal studio in New York. And essentially he was guiding the class. And when I came back in my body from that moment, I was like, wow, that was powerful. And I was completely present, like radical presence. And at that moment, I heard live musicians start to perform and play the sitar and the tabla and all these actual instruments during the practice. And for me, that was it. That was my aha moment. I was like, wow, my 3 decades of being a musician, my 3 years of practicing yoga just synergized in that moment. I was like, all right, I am committed to creating a full album that goes along with the yoga sequence. So
love it.
It was a 5-year project. Nameless Energy is the title. Grateful to say it got endorsed by Deepak Chopra.
Yes.
And boom. And it starts out with this song called Breath. And I really recognized, by being the student of yoga and being on my mat, when I heard yoga instructors play different types of music, or when I was at a yoga festival hearing the styles of music being played, I really wanted that alignment. I was seeking to have music really allow for that individual on their mat getting into the asana poses and postures to feel fully embodied and in that, like, wow, I'm alive and I'm doing this and I'm here. And that's where the music just has this wave, just like a sine wave that goes up and down. And so anyone out there that's ever taken a yoga class and done an asana practice, where it starts out with the integration, it builds, and you do like sun salutation A, sun salutation B, then you go into warrior postures. So I have a song called Love Warrior that reflects that posture. And then you go all the way down to finally you get into the final pose, corpse pose, called Shavasana. And that's a song called Bursting Stars. So I truly cultivated an entire soundtrack for the asana practice. And that came to that one single moment in time and space where I was like, this is it. I'm committed to doing this. I declared it to the universe, and wow, it was really powerful. So I'm thankful that you asked me about that.
Well, I love hearing I always think about chocolate and peanut butter. Remember the old commercials, you dipped your chocolate in my peanut butter. And it's like, you're putting the two things together that haven't been put together in your life yet. And then all of a sudden you've got this brand new, like, holy shit, I got Reese's peanut butter cups. And you're stoked. And so it sounds like what your experience has been. It's so interesting to me with the music part of things, because I feel like for me, as somebody who's on her own healing journey through a million different things in life and trauma and XYZ, like music has always been this anchor point for me. And as a DJ and somebody who, wants to go share music with the world, I'm kind of coming back into it after being retired for a minute and being super mom. I have my Kate back here.
Oh, nice.
It's just like, it's timeless, and it's like, you can listen to these songs again and again, and whether they're mantra or whether they're, a rap song or a rock and roll song or some, other kind of song, it can emotionally take you to a certain state and help you heal yourself, or help you raise your vibration or calm your vibration down if you're too hyped up, and so I think it's like, I'm just so grateful to see such, there's an awakening right now, I think, with a lot of different musicians like yourself and, different people like Desert Dwellers and Eartha of Living Light and all these people
and
who are,
I'm friends with all those people. Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing.
And they're amazing.
Souls.
Yeah. Like super artists. And, all of you as great producers are, you're tapping into this, next level dimension of spirituality and mixing the music and taking people on this journey, and through whether it's through a dance experience or a yoga experience, there's something like this embodied presence that you're combining for people. And then to me, when I recall a song, if I hear a song that I heard at a yoga class or an ecstatic dance or just some other kind of festival, it takes me back to that moment of being embodied in the nowness. And so I think it's so cool, and I'm so excited and supportive of you as an artist. I want to hear about, this is a question that I have for a lot of my artist friends who, whether you're a visual artist or a sound artist, it's so freaking hard to make a living out there as an artist today. It's not like the old days where you'd get these big record deals. People buying your music is few and far between because you can get it for free and not free, but you're $9 a month on Spotify. How do you, and I know touring is challenging, especially if, you're not on the road 300 out of 365 days a year. How do you support your vision as an artist, financially to take care of, so that you can keep moving forward and producing this music?
That's a wonderful question, because in addition to being an artist, I'm also the marketing director of Buddha Music Group. And our intention is raising the vibrations of the planet through art and music, which requires green coupons, abundance. We got to live here.
We're the only species that has to pay to live on this planet. And for me, I'm also a digital marketing coach, and I have clients I work with about building their brand. What's their message? And what it comes down to truly is like streams of consciousness. We get to have multiple streams of income.
Nice.
And for me, I've developed programs where there are many people, as you mentioned, this whole movement that's taking place with this awakening and people getting into their own inner self. And you mentioned some amazing artists that, for me, when people are asking like, hey, I'm so inspired by that song, or I took this yoga class with you and it's amazing. So my next level is for this 2020 festival tour, I'm teaching a whole workshop on how to produce music for yoga and meditation. And I have a 12-week program that I've developed, and I have a year-long program as well. So that's what I do. I basically have leveraged my master's degree in educational technology, and I also have been a Spanish teacher for many years. And so then I have marketing as one of those skill sets that I present. So it's truly like recognizing what your specialties are. And those are the skill sets that I've acquired throughout the years. And then realizing like, hey, I get to create time and space for me to stay creative, to keep my music releasing and remixes and music videos and, all of that it takes to be in the music industry. And then I get to like empower other people on how to have self-expression, creativity in their own path. And then the next part of that, besides like a learning institute that I developed, I also realized that, and I'll give you a little background. My first album, I sold over 10,000 physical CDs.
Nice.
And then my follow-up album was about 7,000. And then my most recent album that just launched 11/11, Radiant Energy, 0 on physical platforms. So that's proof. Just like I've grown up where there was, very young age, it was 8 tracks, and then they got into vinyls, and then we went into cassettes, and then there's this whole evolution of formats and platforms. So what I've realized is it's like lightning speed. All of a sudden, streaming is everything. And it's happened so quickly that you must adapt. So that's my advice to anyone that would like to make a living in the music industry is just being able to realize that you must evolve with the times. Another thing, as you said, of course, you can tour and you can perform, you can do events. And I play music sometimes for people's sacred unions or weddings. I play for like a grand opening of a yoga studio,
or I'm a resident DJ at a few local studios here in San Diego County. And then the other thing, of course, is when you have like your super fans and people that love you, you create merch and you get to like pass that forward and spread whatever message. Even like here I have a water bottle, it has DTO on it, things like that, where you can really realize like it's about your brand, it's about your message and being creative. And so I am a consistent like advocate of like thinking outside the box and being like another thing like social media, like staying on top of the trends. Like my music's on TikTok, so if anyone wants to make a video with my music, you get access to that. So being available, being out there, being like relevant as the times are changing. A lot of times people feel like, in the good old days, like, and I have a few good friends that are still getting like big licensing checks from their songs way back in the day. So, and the last point I'll bring up, Valerie, is that to license your music is also an avenue to create streams of income. So if there's a Netflix series, a documentary, a podcast, someone wants to utilize your music, then you get to have that licensed for whatever price point you choose. And then you can bring in streams of income that way. So I could teach a whole workshop on this, I'm sure.
I know it sounds like you would be a great teacher for that, for people, and a great resource. Especially, I feel like almost anybody these days now, because we've got these laptops and these computers, anybody can be a DJ, anybody can be a producer. Doesn't mean it's going to be awesome or, that you're going to get into your own vibe. But I think it's remarkable to me, because when I first started just plain old fashioned DJing with my vinyl back there, it's like really expensive to buy gear and turntables and the mixer and everything. And now it's like you can do it from your phone. Totally. But I do think there are so many people out there who've got such great talent, and it's like, how can they get their work out there, and reach the audiences that they wish to reach, and still eat and turn the lights on and stuff. So I like the multiple streams of consciousness / multiple streams of income vibe, because I think you do, whether you're an investor, whether you're a philanthropist, an entrepreneur, you have to have all of that going on. Tell me about, I want to hear about your tour. You mentioned Sedona. You've got something cool coming up in Sedona. Yeah. And you're going to be in Boulder for Hanuman. Let's hear about what's happening.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm grateful to say that Himalaya and I have been doing the tour for the last 3 years at different festivals. She's been in it for many decades. And then I've started, as I mentioned, with my big aha moment in 2013. And I'll speak to that real quickly. I was so like fired up and passionate and like laser focused that in 2014, that same festival where I was at, I performed at that festival.
Yeah,
so it was
like,
it was awesome. I was basically reaching out to yoga instructors. I'm this musician. I'm in the process of making this album, but here's some songs I have. I'd love to perform live, because I play live piano, I play harmonium, I play some drums live. Nice. And so it's like really realizing that, find your tribe, find the audience of people, and have that niche ability to say, okay, here's my client avatar, and here's this individual that's on this journey that would really feel touched, moved, and inspired by my creation in the world. And so with that said, I've been performing at Bhakti Fest and Shakti Fest, and then Hanuman last year. And then this year I'm at Hanuman again in Boulder. Yeah. And then this year I will be at Lucidity. Nice. And Lightning in a Bottle is another location that is a phenomenal festival. And also get to perform at, there's a variety of, let's say, like workshops or retreats that are happening. And Himalaya has this amazing event called Embody, that's empowerment for women. Unlock your feminine divine powers is pretty much like the whole premise of that. And so we're going to go to Houston in April 3rd through the 5th. Then we'll be in San Diego, October 3rd through the 5th. And so I'm her like musician. I get to play with her. And then, I collaborate with a lot of different yoga instructors, and I have some different studios I play at locally. And I love, and last year I was at the Bali Spirit Fest, played there. Nice. Wow. And I played at a festival in Canada before. So to truly like be an internationally touring artist is a dream come true.
Yeah.
And it all started for me because you're in Colorado. And I got booked for Yoga Rocks the Park back in the day when that was a big deal. And so when I first got the news about that, I was like, wait, I get to travel, I get to play music, and I get to play it for people that are practicing yoga. All right, that like checked everything off, and I get like compensated for it. And then I get to connect with the people that are following me on Spotify. And this day and age, you can look as an artist on an app, and like my music's being streamed in 70 plus countries. So
Wow.
this global connectivity is so profound. And I'll give a quick example. When I was at the Bali Spirit Fest, which is a week-long festival, has 10,000 people that attend it.
Wow.
It was extraordinary how many people came out to me that wanted a selfie or wanted this or that. And like, hey, DTO. And I would introduce myself. Hey, I'm DTO. I'm like, oh, I know who you are. You know, I have your music on my playlist. I'm a yoga instructor in South Korea or Australia or Finland or Argentina or whichever country. And so what's really powerful, even though the game has changed dramatically in the music industry, when I was a child and I was in Iowa playing like in a garage with my buddies, maybe the neighbors heard you and maybe you played like at a school dance for a small town. But now when you create something, produce something, as you said, everyone has a laptop, everyone has the ability to share. When it's quality and when you can create something that is well received by an audience, then what's phenomenal now is like, boom, you get to like launch it. And then when you can go to these yoga festivals, or let's call them transformational festivals, then there's going to be an audience of people that already know who you are that will attend. And then there's those individuals that you get to meet for the first time, introduce yourself. And then, you know, that's how anything grows and expands.
I love it. It's so cool. And I'm so glad, like you said, yes to this merging of these two parts of your life into this new version of life for yourself. Let's talk about your experiment of the week. Tell us what the experiment of the week is and why you chose it.
Yes. So the experiment of the week is for all of us out there, no matter what kind of distractions, what kind of chaos, what kind of stress, anxiety, all of these energies that we're consistently bombarded with. It's for us to choose per day 5 minutes of stillness.
That sounds like
5
a lot for me. Like 5 seconds of stillness. I'm like, maybe I can pull that off. No, I know we can do it. We got this.
We can do it. And so that means use your timer on your phone, put it in your calendar daily. There's a lot of different options out there where the song I created called Breath has about 500,000 streams on Spotify, and it's on Insight Timer, which is a great app, and it's going to be expanded on a few other apps out there. And however you listen to music, there's so many platforms. And of course, once you're listening to a particular song and how you introduce music is really powerful. You said music is medicine. Mm-hmm. And so the cure to sometimes all of these stresses that we encounter on a daily cycle is to say, okay, let's get off the hamster wheel for 5 minutes. That's my challenge to everyone. Yes. You can do it.
We can do it.
And just listen to the song Breath by DTO.
Okay.
And just close your eyes, be still, be in nature if you can. Just sit in a room in your home. If it's before you drive somewhere, just stop, turn off the car, just be in your moment, be present. And it might be, hey, this is a way to shift your energy. Let's say you're about to go into a job interview. Maybe you have all this chaotic energy. And if you were to show up in the interview with all that, it might not be really the best approach, right? But if you can like drop into yourself, go deep, take breaths, and just be like, I'm alive, I'm here, I'm present, I'm grateful, and I'm a powerful leader in the world. And whatever affirmations or mantra that you want to tell yourself, I think that will naturally come up. And even if it's not, languages that are coming through, your throat chakra, it might be simply a knowingness within your cells. And just really like self-care, I don't know if you felt this as well, it's like a real big theme for me this year. Slowing down.
Boy, I've been like so slow this year. It's crazy. I thought I was going to jump into 2020 and be like, this is great. I'm crushing this year. And so far this year has been like turtle pace for what my vision is. And I'm like, okay. And I have all these oracle cards and all these little, sticky note affirmation things. And they're just like, chill the fuck out. It's fine. It's like
less is more.
Yeah. And so I think the slowdown thing for somebody like me, who's usually like, it's challenging, but it's also necessary. Just, for a lot of us who are in a fast-paced career or, just super jugglers with the family and the love life. And, our
Yes.
personal health and our careers and volunteering, whatever we do on the planet, it's really hard to slow down because you're just like, I don't want to drop a ball. But it's like, well, maybe we don't have to throw them all up so high or something. I don't know how that works exactly, but we need to I know, and I'm speaking to my soul right now. It's like, it's okay to relax a little bit and go in and then come back out, I think a lot of us feel this pressure. And I know for me personally, I feel this pressure to perform, and I feel a pressure of like a limited amount of time on the planet as, in this incarnation. And I feel this, like, if I got to do it all now, and as the world's falling apart and people are suffering and I'm suffering. And it's like, if I don't do, then the whole world's going to explode. And it's not going to explode, hopefully, but it's still, it's like, how do you balance that pressure of pushing yourself and being this, proactive human, spiritual being, having a human experience? How do you balance that with, like, I really do need to relax here and there and rejuvenate? And so doing these microdoses of, the 5 minutes, listen to the song, get your, I always think like micro changes equal macro difference. And so, doing a 5-minute practice. And I like that you said, put it in your timer, on your phone, or put it in your Google Calendar, however you do it. But like, if you schedule it, like, okay, this is when I'm going to take that 5 minutes and do this practice. So I think that's really important for a lot of us, because we're like, yeah, I'll do it later. I'll meditate later. I'll stretch later. I'll do the yoga later. It's like, put it in your life, plan for the day. That's super important. Let's talk about, okay, so at Dance Our Dreams podcast, we always talk about a United Nations Sustainable Development Goal of the week. And you picked number 4, which is quality education. As an educator, clearly, you're, passionate about that. You picked a charity of the week, and I want to hear about the charity that you chose also.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the Shay Foundation, and it's based out of San Diego, and they are bringing the practice of yoga to inner city children.
Nice.
And I'm good friends with Gloria, and she is, just a sweet soul. And her son, Sean O'Shea, tragically died in a car accident years ago. And he was driving to these inner city schools and offering yoga. And so in honor of his legacy, they've built this whole nonprofit that is training teachers and bringing the gift and the medicine of yoga to inner city kids, where, as we just described, like, there's stress, there's anxiety. Maybe someone feels like, like there might be someone behind them, or, there's stress, bullying in schools is a problem, as we know. Violence in schools is a major issue. And so for me, as a school teacher that I've taught, well over 15 years, it's really powerful for what the Sean O'Shea Foundation is creating. And at Buddha Music Group, when we've done our launch parties, we've always included donations towards nonprofits that are making a huge difference in the world. And I feel like more than ever, this new generation of kids, and what's really exciting, I'm sure a lot of people have seen this, is more schools are having, besides go to the principal's office and you're in trouble and everything's bad, is like, go to the wellness office, go, and even like physical education classes now offer yoga as a part of, besides taking indoor soccer or taking some other class. It's like, hey, you can actually take a yoga class. And so that's like, I feel there's this massive integration happening of all this like ancient Eastern wisdom to deal with modern day insanity.
Yeah,
the
totally.
Western, like you and I as Westerners, like, we're finally like, oh, the answer is hidden in plain sight. It's on this planet. It's right here. It's all these extraordinary cultures that have already offered this. And I think, admittedly for me, sometimes, I'm like this stubborn Midwestern guy, like, this is the only way. The only way to have success is like hard work, hard work, hard work. You're not like, open up your heart, listen to music, vibe out, be connected.
I know, right? Where's the checkbox here? Are there checkboxes in this yoga class? It's like, no, dude. That's not.
Yeah. Just be still, breathe.
Yeah. So it's a big deal. And
totally.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, good. Okay. So where can everybody find you in this beautiful internet connected world of ours?
Wonderful. Yeah. Any music streaming app, just type in DTO which
Okay.
by the way means down to Om.
Nice. Down to Om. All right.
which kind of like circles back because it all started for me with that Om moment.
Yeah,
So like,
totally. I know. I should have asked you that question. I'm glad you said that. So thank you.
yeah. And of course, my website's dtomusic.com.
Awesome.
And you can find anything there that if you're interested in my learning institute to learn how to create music for meditation or yoga, want to see my tour where I'm going to be playing. And at the same time, if you simply want to stream some of my music or license it and simply connect, I think that's really what's awesome. There's so many ways we can connect. And I'm really grateful that we get to do that. Like so many people, and I'll say this because I'm from a small Midwestern town of like 18,000 people. When you're growing up, sometimes you feel like, oh, am I the only one that feels this? Or am I the
am I the only alien in this town?
right? And then all of a sudden, like, you get connections. And then for me, truly, when I came to San Diego, and big shout out to my soul family here in San Diego, it's extraordinary the people that we get to reflect each other in this lifetime and really feel honored and seen and supported and encouraged. And that kind of vibe is just everything to me. And I truly know like the way I've been able to develop like my artistic expression and just all of that came through that surge of power. And it really happened about 10 years ago when I just started to recognize like, whoa, for me, in 2009, I went to my first Burning Man and I was like, wow, we're in this like global experience and we're all in this together. And there's so many people that love music and art and creativity and self-expression. It's not just about being in a cubicle and, spreadsheets and all this. It's like, how are you making an impact on the world? And then for me, when I got back in the classroom as a school teacher, it really empowered me. And then as I shared my story, then all of a sudden I happened to be a musician that was transformed through yoga. And now I developed this whole career as DTO. So that's how you can find me. Anywhere you find me, of course, Instagram, DTO Music, whatever your favorite app is, I'm there.
Awesome. So grateful. And your music's beautiful. I've been listening to it and
thank you.
I want to go to a yoga class with you performing. So I'm like, maybe Sedona could work for this, this woman. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get down for that, but I know that because you're going to be up here in Boulder for Hanuman. So I'm not sure
absolutely
for that, but if I am, like, we will definitely hook up.
I'd love that. That's always fun to meet someone in person.
Totally,
well as
I know. It's
the
so
digital version.
It is. I was at a dance experience this weekend it was an all women's dance thing, and I had interviewed another woman who was at the dance, and she does like pelvic floor healing and some interesting, work with our bodies. And she's like, "Oh my God, you have skin and you're not just a flat face on the screen." So it was kind of cool.
You're not just a podcast or a YouTube channel.
Yeah, right. And so it was kind of fun.
Like,
we got to dance together. Yeah, so it was really neat to see 3D people.
Totally, absolutely.
So everybody, let's take a really big inhale. I want to say thank you so much, DTO, Dave Kemp. You're awesome. Thanks for all the work that you're doing on this planet. And it's always so inspiring to hear people who say yes to their dreams and who say yes to their talents and their passions and figuring out a way to get it and spread it across the planet so that we can raise the vibes. And I love it. So thank you so much for taking time to be with us here. And it's awesome.
You're welcome.
Let's everybody take a big inhale together. Yes. All right. Until next time, everybody. Peace, love, and aloha.